You know, 88% of households give to charity. That is according to Forbes. Making charitable donations is not only a great way to make a difference, but also an excellent way to reduce your tax burden for the year. Here to talk with me more about this is our financial advisor, Mike Bonds. Thanks for stopping in, Mike, again.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the first thing that you should do when you are considering making a charitable donation?
Well, the first question you should ask yourself is why you're giving, right? Because your charitable giving should be your vision of the way you want to make a difference. So being specific and identifying what your mission is on the charitable giving side is very important, and that's the first place to start, whether it's supporting the arts in your local community like my wife and myself do with Albuquerque Little Theater, or it's helping the homeless. Whatever your mission is, it should be specific, should be realistic, and most importantly, it should be inspiring, because the stronger you feel about it, the more likely you are to follow through with it.
That's a good point. And what should charitable giving be? Should it be part of your overall financial plan?
Absolutely. I think that what you can do is set aside a certain dollar figure or a certain percentage of your monthly or annual income towards your charitable mission. Now, a lot of people ask themselves the question, do I have enough money to give?
Yeah.
I think a better question might be, how do I further my mission over a period of time? Because charitable giving can be done in various different ways. You can be very creative with it. I mean, you can always write a check. Most people do that and don't really know where the check goes. But you can also donate appreciated stock. You can give a portion of your retired minimum distribution from your IRA each year. You can volunteer for organizations that meet and fall into your mission. Or you can just donate a talent or a certain skill that you may have.
And that kind of leads me to this next question is, how do you know if the charity that you're giving to is legitimate? I think a lot of folks have that question.
Yeah, you have to do some research. You have to treat charities much like you would do the research for an investment. You have to do your philanthropic due diligence to make sure the charity is actually falling within your mission guidelines. Don't just be fooled by the title. You need to ask questions of what their real purpose is. You know, what have they accomplished over the last 5 years? How much of every dollar that you give actually goes towards the charity or versus, say, overhead or administrative costs?
Sure.
Do they have a business plan? I don't know there's an exact science in determining which charity is going to be a good one versus a bad one for your scenario, but I do think that it's important that you feel confident that the time you're volunteering or the dollars that you're putting into a charity going to have some type of measurable difference.
Gotcha. And what about ways to be tax smart about charitable
There's
giving?
lots of different ways. One of those would be to, for instance, give to a donor advised fund, like the Schwab Charitable Fund.
But where they manage kind of where your
correct. They manage those funds for you, and then you dictate it which particular charity would get those, and they're very easy to do online. But the higher income earners, there's all kinds of different ways that they can utilize different types of trusts, charitable lead trust, charitable remainder trust, those types of things, excuse me, for their philanthropic endeavors. It's always good to check with a financial professional to determine all of the scenarios that are out there, which tax benefits you can take advantage of and which one may fit your scenario.
And lastly, you have until December 31st to give to a charity or make some sort of a donation for it to count for next year, right?
To count on your income taxes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, I usually always kind of do things at the last minute, make that contribution at
You fall into the 88% that we're
I know it, but hey, you know what? 'Tis the season to give regardless. December 31st.
Yes, it is. As long as you get that inspiring feeling when you're giving. I think
and
that's
put thought into it, really,
exactly.
bottom line.
I think that's why we do it in the beginning. I mean, it's why we do it, period.
Yeah, it should be, yeah, absolutely. All right, Mike, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Good to be here.
Bright and early.